Lauren grabbed my wrist as I reached for my champagne glass at our wedding rehearsal and whispered 4 words that changed everything. Don't drink that. Trust me. I'm not the kind of guy who believes in conspiracy theories. I'm a marketing exec. I deal in data and facts. So when my fiancée Lauren stopped me from drinking champagne at our own wedding rehearsal 3 days before we were supposed to get married, I honestly thought she'd lost it from wedding stress. Lauren, what are you... outside. Now! Her voice had this edge I'd never heard before. Her hand was actually shaking. My brother Connor was watching us from across the vineyard's courtyard, holding the champagne bottle he'd just poured from. He's 32, 3 years older than me, and he's been my best man since we were kids playing Wedding with Mom's curtains. The guy who taught me to ride a bike, my built-in best friend. Everything okay, little brother? Connor called out, that easy smile on his face. You look pale. Maybe you need to sit down. You've been so stressed lately. And that's the thing. I had been stressed. Like, really stressed. For the past 2 months, I'd been having these panic attacks that came out of nowhere. Heart racing, can't breathe, feeling like the walls were closing in. I'd never had anxiety before in my life. I'm the calm one in the family. But suddenly, I couldn't get through a work meeting without my hands shaking. I'd started seeing a therapist, Dr. Morrison, actually recommended by Connor, and got prescribed medication for anxiety. My parents thought it was just pre-wedding jitters. My mom kept saying, "Marriage is a big step, honey. It's normal to be nervous." My dad, Mitchell, who runs the family's commercial real estate business, just told me to man up and push through it. But Lauren pulled me toward the parking lot, away from everyone. We need to leave. I'll explain in the car. Lauren, we can't just leave our own wedding rehearsal. Ryan. She stopped and looked at me, and I swear I've never seen her look so serious. Lauren's a data analyst. She's methodical and calm, but right now she looked terrified. I need you to trust me right now more than you've ever trusted anyone. Please. Something in her voice made me follow. In the car, she handed me this thick manila folder. I've been investigating for 3 weeks. Investigating what? Your brother has been drugging you. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. That's insane. Is it? She opened the folder, pulled out her phone. The panic attack started right after your family threw you that surprise engagement party in August, right? Yeah, but you've never had anxiety before. You ran a product launch in front of 500 people last year without breaking a sweat, and now you can't handle a coffee meeting? She had a point, but still. Wedding stress is real, Lauren. Look at this. She showed me screenshots of text messages, a group chat with my dad, my mom, my Uncle Paul, and Connor. The header said, "The Bet." My blood went cold as I read. Connor, he's definitely cracking. Had a panic attack at the office today. Dad, I've got October 15th. 10K says he calls off the wedding by then. Uncle Paul, you're all wrong. He'll make it to the rehearsal but break down during the actual ceremony. That's my bet. Mom, this feels wrong, Mitchell. Dad, Patricia, we discussed this. It's for his own good. There were dozens of messages. They were betting, actually betting money, on when I'd have a complete breakdown. The total pot was $50,000. I don't understand, I said, but my voice sounded far away. Why would they... Page 7, Lauren said quietly. It was a document about my grandmother's trust fund. I knew about it. Grandma Margaret set it up years ago, pays out when I turn 30 or get married, whichever comes first. I'm 29. The wedding was supposed to be Saturday. The payout amount was $2.3 million. If you're declared mentally incompetent, Lauren said, Connor becomes the trustee. He controls everything. The panic I felt right then, that was real, not drug-induced. That was the feeling of your entire reality cracking open. Every single panic attack, Lauren continued, happened within 2 to 3 hours of Connor bringing you something to drink, coffee, energy drinks, those smoothies he kept making for you. I started tracking it after the 3rd week. I remembered. Connor had been so attentive. You're stressed, bro. Let me grab you a coffee. Made you a protein shake. You need to keep your strength up. He'd been at our apartment constantly, always bringing me stuff, always so concerned. I hid a camera in our apartment, Lauren said. I have video of him putting pills in your coffee maker. She showed me. There was my brother, letting himself in with the key I gave him for emergencies. Going straight to the kitchen, crushing pills, adding them to my coffee grounds, my protein powder, even Lauren's tea. He was drugging you too, I asked, trying to make me seem paranoid probably, make you think I was the crazy one if I said anything. I looked at Connor through the venue's window. He was still standing there, still holding my champagne glass, watching the parking lot. Waiting. Ryan, Lauren said softly, Dr. Morrison isn't a real therapist. He's Connor's college roommate. I looked him up. He got his license suspended in Nevada for insurance fraud. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. The anxiety that had been tearing me apart for 2 months? Not real. The medication I'd been taking? Not helping, because I wasn't actually sick. My own family had been systematically poisoning me, gaslighting me, betting on when I'd snap. And my brother, my best man, my best friend, was orchestrating the whole thing. My phone started ringing. Connor, then my mom, then my dad, all within 30 seconds. Lauren looked at me. They know we left. They know something's wrong. What do you want to do? What would you do if you found out your own family was betting on your breakdown? Drop a comment below. I didn't answer the calls. My hands were shaking. Real anxiety this time, not whatever Connor had been putting in my system, and Lauren took my phone and powered it off. We're going to the police, she said, right now. Maybe we should… Ryan, no, she started the car. Your brother filed preliminary paperwork for emergency guardianship 3 days ago. I found it in the public records. He's claiming you're mentally unstable and a danger to yourself. The court date is Monday, 2 days after the wedding. It clicked into place. He wasn't just trying to ruin the wedding. He was going to drug me so heavily during the ceremony that I'd have a complete public breakdown in front of 200 witnesses. Then he'd have me declared incompetent and institutionalized, take control of my inheritance, take control of my entire life. He planned to make it look like I couldn't handle the pressure of getting married, I said slowly, and then swoop in as the concerned older brother trying to save you from yourself. Lauren was crying now, but she kept driving. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I needed to be absolutely sure. I needed evidence that would hold up. Detective Sarah Chen listened to everything at the police station. She was maybe 40, calm and professional, and she didn't dismiss us as paranoid. She looked through Lauren's folder, all the screenshots, the receipts showing Connor bought benzodiazepines from some shady online pharmacy, the timeline of my symptoms, the video footage. This is enough for a warrant, she said. But first, Ryan, we need to get you to a hospital. We need to document what's in your system right now. The ER doctor took one look at my blood work results and called in a toxicologist. Alprazolam, clonazepam, Ambien, all at levels indicating I'd been dosed regularly for weeks, maybe months, none of them prescribed to me by any legitimate doctor. You're lucky, the toxicologist told me. The combination could have caused respiratory failure if the dosage had been increased much more. Whoever did this knew exactly how much to give you to cause psychological symptoms without killing you. That takes planning. While I was at the hospital, Detective Chen got a warrant and raided Connor's apartment. She called us 2 hours later. We found everything, she said. Bottles of prescription medications, a journal where he tracked dosages and your reactions, printed emails between him and Dr. Morrison discussing how to build a case for incompetency, and the original bet agreement signed by 6 family members. 6? I asked. My parents, Connor, Uncle Paul. Who else? Your Aunt Linda and your cousin James were in on it too. The bet was the side game, but your brother's notes make it clear the real target was always the trust fund. I felt sick. Half my family had been actively involved in destroying me. But then Lauren showed me something else she'd found. Text messages between Connor and my dad from 2 weeks ago. Connor, plan B if he doesn't break at the wedding? Dad, we discussed this. Too risky. Connor, break lines are easy. Accident during honeymoon. Lauren's the beneficiary, but she'll be too traumatized to contest guardianship. Dad, absolutely not. I won't be part of murder. Connor, you're already part of fraud. What's the difference? He was going to kill me, I said. My voice didn't even sound like mine. Detective Chen leaned forward. That message is enough to hold him on attempted murder charges. We're bringing them all in tonight. They arrested Connor at the rehearsal venue. I wasn't there. Lauren and I were still at the station, but Detective Chen showed us the body camera footage later. Connor tried to run. Actually tried to run. They tackled him in the vineyard parking lot while my parents screamed that this was all a misunderstanding. My mom kept crying, "He's sick. He needs help, not jail," like I was the problem. My dad showed up at the station with their lawyer, a guy named Richard who looked like he cost $5,000 an hour. Richard tried the sympathetic approach first. "Ryan, your family's worried about you. Your brother says you've been having episodes he caused," Lauren interrupted. "Ms. Parker, your involvement in this situation is concerning. You've isolated Ryan from his support system. You've made serious accusations." Detective Chen cut him off. "Mr. Bradford, we have video evidence of your client's son entering Ryan's home and tampering with food and beverages. We have documented proof of drug purchases. We have written plans for fraud and discussions of vehicular manslaughter. Save the performance for the judge." That's when Connor arrived with his own lawyer. He looked smaller somehow, without his usual confidence. When he saw me, he actually had the nerve to look hurt. "Ryan, come on, you know me. I'd never actually hurt you. You poisoned me for 2 months. I was trying to help you see that you weren't ready for marriage. Lauren's wrong for you. She's the only one who wasn't lying to me." Detective Chen played the apartment video footage on the big monitor. We all watched Connor crush pills and add them to my coffee maker. The timestamp was clear. His lawyer's face went gray. "That's not... I was just checking on..." Connor stammered. "You were poisoning your brother," Detective Chen said flatly, "and you documented it. The journal we found in your apartment has entries going back 10 weeks. You noted every dosage, every symptom Ryan displayed, how long the effects lasted. You treated this like a science experiment." My dad tried one more time. "Connor, stop talking. Richard, get him out of here." But Connor was spiraling. I recognized it. The panic, the feeling of walls closing in. Ironic. "You don't understand the pressure I've been under," he shouted at me. "Dad always liked you better. Grandma Margaret always liked you better, and you were just going to get everything handed to you while I've worked for this company for 10 years. So you decided to destroy me instead? I decided to show everyone you weren't as perfect as they thought." The confession was on record. His lawyer actually put his head in his hands. That's when the door opened and Grandma Margaret walked in. She's 82, barely 5 feet tall, but when she entered that room, everyone shut up. She looked at Connor, then at my parents, then at me. "Someone explain to me why my grandson is in a police station." Detective Chen did. Grandma Margaret listened to everything: the drugs, the bet, the guardianship plan, the talk about brake lines. Her expression never changed. When it was done, she turned to Connor. "I created that trust fund to protect Ryan from exactly this kind of family toxicity. I saw how competitive you all were, how you turned everything into a contest. I wanted to make sure Ryan had security when he started his own life." She paused. "You were supposed to be his protection if anything happened to me. Instead, you became his biggest threat." "Grandma, I didn't mean..." "You documented it, Connor. You meant every bit of it." She turned to her lawyer, who'd apparently been called in. "I want Connor removed as alternate trustee immediately. I want him removed from my will entirely. And I want you to start proceedings to move the bulk of my estate into Ryan's control." "Mom, you can't," my dad started. "Mitchell, you stood by and watched this happen. You participated in betting on your own son's mental breakdown. Patricia, you knew and did nothing. None of you deserve the wealth 3 generations of this family built." Connor was crying now. Real, ugly crying. "I've lost everything." "No," I said quietly. "You threw it away. There's a difference. Have you ever had someone close to you betray your trust? How did you handle it? Let me know below." The next 72 hours were a blur of lawyers, statements, and toxicology reports. Connor was denied bail. The judge said the discussions about brake lines made him a flight risk and a danger. My parents were released but faced civil charges. Uncle Paul, Aunt Linda, and Cousin James all lawyered up immediately. The wedding, obviously, didn't happen. Lauren and I spent what should have been our wedding day in her parents' living room, eating takeout and watching trashy TV. Her mom kept bringing me tea and asking if I was okay. Her dad, who'd always been kind of quiet around me, said something I'll never forget. "You know what family means, Ryan? It means people who show up when you're at your worst, not the people who put you there. The media got hold of the story. Local business family embroiled in drugging scandal. My dad's company lost 3 major contracts within a week. The society people my parents loved networking with? Gone. Suddenly, everyone was too busy to attend their charity events. Connor's lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal. Connor would serve 7 years in prison for assault, fraud, and attempted fraud against a vulnerable adult. 7 years felt like nothing for 2 months of torture, but the prosecutor said it was the best we'd get without a full trial. And honestly, I didn't want to spend years in courtrooms reliving this. Dr. Morrison, the fake therapist, lost what was left of his license and got 3 years for fraud and conspiracy. Part of me wanted worse for him. He'd sat in his office, nodding sympathetically while I described symptoms he knew were caused by drugs Connor was giving me, and he'd used it all to build a case that I was incompetent. That's a special kind of evil. My parents took a different deal. They paid restitution, $200,000, and agreed to 5 years probation and mandatory therapy. They kept their freedom, but lost their positions in Grandma Margaret's company. She fired them both and installed professional management. "I'm 82, she told me over coffee one morning. "I don't have time to let them fix this, but you've got your whole life ahead of you. I want you to learn to run this business properly. No more family drama, no more competition, just good, clean business." Uncle Paul and Aunt Linda got probation and fines, Cousin James too. The family fractured completely. Half of them blamed Connor for being reckless, the other half blamed me for pressing charges, like I was the villain for refusing to let them poison me without consequences. My mom sent letters, long ones, explaining how she'd been conflicted, how she'd wanted to stop it, but felt loyal to Connor, how she'd never meant for it to go so far. Every letter ended with, "I'm still your mother." I never responded. My dad tried the business approach, sent me investment opportunities, asked for meetings to discuss the family company, acted like we could just move past this because family is forever. I blocked his number. The thing about betrayal like this is that it doesn't just break trust, it breaks your reality. I spent 2 months thinking I was losing my mind, that I was weak, that I couldn't handle normal adult stress. I'd apologized to coworkers for being flaky. I'd canceled plans with friends because I was too anxious to leave the house. I'd doubted myself constantly, and it was all manufactured, all of it, by the people who were supposed to love me most. Lauren and I started couples therapy, ironic, right, to process the trauma together. Our therapist, a woman named Dr. Reeves, who came highly recommended by the hospital, said something that stuck with me. Trauma doesn't just come from what happened, it comes from who did it. If a stranger had drugged you, it would be terrifying. But when it's your family, when it's people you trusted completely, it rewires how you see the world. She was right. I found myself second-guessing everything. Did my friends really like me, or were they pretending? Was that barista nice or plotting something? It took months to stop looking over my shoulder. But Lauren never wavered. She'd known something was wrong when everyone else, including me, was telling her she was paranoid. She'd collected evidence, stayed patient, and acted at exactly the right moment. She'd literally saved my life. 6 months after the arrest, we got married. Just us, Lauren's parents and brother, Grandma Margaret, and a handful of close friends who'd proven themselves during the nightmare. We rented a small venue overlooking the ocean. No rehearsal dinner, no champagne toasts, no stress. Lauren's brother David was my best man. I barely knew him before all this, but he'd stepped up immediately when everything fell apart. No judgment, no drama, just, "What do you need, man?" During my vows, I had to stop because I started crying. Not sad crying, just overwhelmed. "You knew," I said to Lauren. "When everyone told you I was just stressed, you knew. You trusted your instincts over everyone's opinions. You saved me." She was crying too. I'd do it 1,000 times over. Grandma Margaret came to the wedding in a purple dress and pearl earrings. She gave us a check for $50,000, the exact amount they bet against you, she said with grim satisfaction. "Consider it an investment in your real future." Connor sent a letter from prison asking to be invited. I threw it away without reading past the first line. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Have you ever had to cut off toxic family? Share your story. I promise you're not alone. 2 years later, I'm sitting in our living room watching our daughter Emma, 9 months old, currently trying to eat her own foot, and I still can't believe how different my life is. The drugs are long gone from my system. The real anxiety, the kind that came from being systematically poisoned and gaslighted, faded with therapy and time. Turns out I'm actually a pretty calm person when I'm not being medicated against my will. Lauren and I are solid, stronger than ever actually. Trauma either breaks you or bonds you, and we chose bonding. She's still the person who notices things before I do, who trusts her instincts, who fights for what's right even when it's hard. Grandma Margaret is 84 now and still sharp as ever. She comes over twice a week to spoil Emma and tell her stories about the family business, the clean, ethical parts, not the toxic parts. She's teaching me to run the company properly. No more backstabbing, no more competition, just good business practices and treating people with respect. The trust fund that Connor tried to steal? It paid out when I got married, exactly as Grandma Margaret intended. $2.3 million that's now invested properly and growing. I used part of it to start a nonprofit organization, Family Financial Abuse Advocacy, that helps people who've been exploited by relatives. You'd be shocked how common it is. Adult children stealing from elderly parents, siblings draining each other's accounts, spouses committing fraud. We've helped over 200 families in 2 years get legal support and protection. Connor is still in prison. He's got 3 more years to go. He writes letters sometimes, long ones, begging for forgiveness, asking for money for the commissary, hinting that he's learned his lesson. I never respond. His mom, my mom, forwards me updates about him occasionally, like I care. Connor is doing so well in his rehabilitation program. Connor's taking college courses. Connor misses his family. Connor destroyed his family. He can miss what he ruined. My parents tried to reconcile for about a year. Birthday cards, Christmas presents for Emma that I donated unopened, requests to meet for coffee and talk things through. My mom even showed up at the nonprofit office once, crying, saying she'd made a mistake and wanted her son back. I had security escort her out. Here's the thing people don't get about forgiveness. It's not required. Everyone acts like you have to forgive family because they're blood. But blood doesn't give you the right to poison someone, bet on their breakdown, and try to steal their future. Some things are unforgivable. And that's okay. I've built a new family. Lauren's parents are Grandma and Grandpa to Emma. David comes over for Sunday dinners. We have friends who showed up during the worst time and stayed. Grandma Margaret is the only blood relative I still talk to, and that's because she chose my side when it mattered. The nonprofit is growing. We just hired 2 more lawyers and a financial analyst. We work with police departments to help them recognize signs of family financial abuse. We've gotten 3 laws changed in our state to make it easier to prosecute these cases. Every family we help feels like justice for what happened to me. Sometimes people ask if I regret pressing charges, if I wish I'd handled it privately, kept it in the family. And I always say the same thing. Keeping it private is how they got away with it for so long. They counted on me being too embarrassed, too loyal, too concerned about the family reputation to fight back. But Lauren taught me something important. When someone shows you who they really are, when they show you through their actions, not their words, believe them. My family showed me they valued money more than my health. They showed me they could watch me suffer and feel nothing but excitement about their bet. They showed me my life was worth $50,000 to them and an inheritance to my brother. So I believed them, and I acted accordingly. Emma is pulling herself up on the coffee table now, wobbling, proud of herself. She doesn't know her Uncle Connor exists. She won't unless she asks someday when she's older. She doesn't know her other grandparents sent her gifts we donated. She just knows the people who show up for her. Lauren, me, Grandma Margaret, Aunt Sarah, Lauren's sister, Uncle David, and all the friends who became family. That's the family I'm building for her. The kind that shows up, the kind that protects, the kind that tells the truth even when it's hard. Connor's lawyer called last month asking if I'd write a letter supporting early parole. It would mean a lot to your brother, he said. He's really changed. I told him Connor can serve every single day of his sentence. Change is great, growth is wonderful, but consequences matter more. You know what I learned from all of this? Trust the person who believes you when something feels wrong, even if everyone else says you're paranoid. Lauren risked looking crazy to save me. She collected evidence while my own family told me I was falling apart naturally. She saw the truth they were hiding and refused to let them gaslight her too. Sometimes the person who loves you sees what your blood relatives are blind to, or worse, what they're deliberately hiding. Chosen family is stronger than biological obligation. Love is action, not genetics. If your personality suddenly changes and everyone says it's just stress, get a second opinion. If someone you love is acting out of character, investigate before accepting the easy explanation. Trust your instincts when something feels wrong. And never, ever let someone convince you that family gets a free pass to hurt you. Family doesn't get a free pass to destroy you. Trust is earned, not inherited. Has anyone ever gaslighted you about your own mental health? Have you had to cut ties with toxic family members? Share your story below. Your experience might help someone else recognize the warning signs before it's too late. And if you're going through something similar right now, please know, you're not crazy, you're not alone, and you deserve people who protect you, not hurt you.